Welcome everyone to our free webinar on going paperless with billing. I am Amanda and I hope this finds everyone safe and healthy. In this session, we will discover how we can ditch our paper copies of worksheets and invoices, the setup requirements, and the processing. So whether you are joining me from your kitchen table or back in the office, I hope you come away with a better understanding of paperless billing. There are many benefits to switching to paperless billing. We can save time and money. The WFH Billing approval is an electronic communication between the account executive and the biller, so no more back and forth between the two to track down a lost or illegible billing worksheet floating around somewhere. For production jobs, our account executive can type in their specific comments that they would like to have appear on the invoices, make their recommendation on what needs to be billed, adjusted, or placed on hold. Within the Media Manager, our media team can indicate the orders or lines that they want approved for billing. The biller can then filter by those and approve and bill straight from that. We can even electronically send our clients their invoices directly. There are some setup requirements that are needed to take full advantage of the billing approval process and emailing invoices electronically. Please reach out to our software support team for assistance on reviewing the security group, employee setup, billing setup, client contact, and AR statement setup. I am going to start in WebVantage so we can create a WebVantage billing approval for our account executive. I have already created a few jobs with some time entry, income only, an approved estimate, accounts payable, along with comments and attachments for that AP so we can review and drill into the details. I am currently logged into WebVantage as the biller. I will be the batch creator, the one who will select what account executives I want to create a batch for and what to include in that batch. So let's go ahead and talk about this screen. I got to it by going into Billing and then Billing Approval Batch. We are going to click on and add a new batch. But on this screen, you can select for a specific time period that you're looking for so you can review your batches. You will always be able to see all the unfinished batches. Let's go ahead and say we want to do a new batch. Within here, I can give it a batch description. I can give it a batch description. The date can be the current date, or you can pre or post date it. We can then assign it to our employee. I'm going to go ahead and assign it to my account executive. Then this is the cutoff dates. These are just like your cutoff dates that you are used to in your billing command center. So what dates do we want to see our charges through? I'm going to go ahead and say that I want to see it through the end of the month, and we'll leave it as the April posting period. I have the ability to select that I want all account executives, specific account executives, or a specific account executive. We can also do it based upon project management. I'm going to go ahead and select Kyle. We can also then filter down that we want to do all clients, a specific client or clients, division, product, and campaign. I'm going to go ahead and select that we want one particular client. We'll come back to our job list in just a second. Your include options are going to be just like your billing command center. We can include our open jobs with unbilled and other records, our open jobs with unbilled only, all open jobs, our fee time, or our non-billable jobs. I'm going to go ahead and say open jobs and click on the save icon. Once we do, we can come down to our job list, and if there was a job that we didn't want or jobs, we can simply uncheck them and save from here. I'm going to go ahead and keep all of these jobs and go ahead and click on the alert. This is going to give me a window that I can now notify someone specific for their batch. I can notify an alert group, notify the assigned employee, or I can notify the batch creator, which would be myself. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it as the assigned employee. I can change the subject line if I wish, change the priority, and add in a text body. I'm going to go ahead and click on the send. And now Kyle has just received an email in his inbox as well as an alert on his WebVantage. Let's take a look at that email. So here's the batch letting him know that his batch is ready for him to review. And he can click on the alert to view the alert. We're going to go ahead and log out of my system admin user And we're going to log in as Kyle so we can go ahead and start to create our batch. So now that I have received that alert, I'm going to go ahead and jump on into our WebVantage billing approval. So we will go into billing and we'll go to billing approval. We are going to use Kyle's employee code and his password. And it automatically will pop up that we have this batch waiting for us. Now I can look at my current period, or I can go backwards or forwards and look at any period range and year that I want to review any past or future billings that we may have. Let's go ahead and click on our binoculars. That way we can look at our detail. Across the top, we can create approvals after we've deleted a batch by clicking on this new. We can also automatically create batches for missing clients. We can approve or unapprove batches. We can send an alert, and then we have our refresh. This information here is telling us what batch ID, what batch description, and what our batch date is. We can also see the jobs that are within this batch. Let's go ahead and drill into our approvals so we can get started. So we'll click on our little magnifying glass here. And within here, we can see our client, our batch ID, our billing approval, description, as well as our date. And then we can see the details that we've got going on within this particular batch. If our list was a lot longer and we wanted to filter by a specific job, we can actually type in our job here and search for that job. Now, I did go ahead and pre-set up a lot of these jobs beforehand, so we're going to jump in and kind of take a look at them. And as we go through the screens, I will skip around on some of the fields because I'm going to talk about them as we go. So my job number 290 is actually an advanced bill job it's an improved estimate that I want to make as an advanced bill. We can see our client division product. We can see our job component, who our account executive is, what billing approval ID, the description, and our job processing control. To flag a job as an advanced bill, all we have to do is indicate that, yes, we want to place it as a bill hold, as an advanced bill. I can then, from my instructions, say to quote instead of percentage, or we can do a manual based upon our approved. Now, I'm going to show you that I do have a quote as well as a quoted amount. We have nothing that's currently billed or unbilled on this job. I'm going to go ahead and indicate that I want to bill 100%, and we'll set it. And now you'll see that my quote is sitting over here waiting for an advanced bill. I am going to go ahead and click on Save. Now, we can use these arrows to go backwards and forwards to look at jobs, but I'm going to close out because I want to show you the previous screen. So once I refresh this screen, we can see that this job is now approved, while these three are still pending. Let's go ahead and continue. And this is actually great if the biller or if the approver needs to step away for a moment, they can see where they left off. Let's go ahead and jump on into our next job. Now, this job is an advanced bill job that I had done previously. We can see that it's already been marked as an advanced bill. I can't change it. Now, I can bill an additional amount based upon our quote if I wanted to. And here it's showing how much we've advanced billed, less what we have as far as our actuals. That would be our balance that we would have remaining. We can see that we've advanced billed 1,000, and then I've got some actual charges here. Now, I could go ahead and type in that I want to reconcile this full 1,900, and I can indicate over here my approval comments, but I actually want to drill down and show you the detail behind it. So within our art direction function, I can see who it is, what the date is, and I'll show you comments here in just a minute, but you do have some timesheet comments. You can see your estimated amount, and we've got our billing instructions. I'm going to go ahead and indicate that I want to bill and reconcile a few of these. And as I do, those amounts are automatically filling in. And if I needed to change the amount, I could actually change it and then indicate that I needed to have it as an adjustment. I'm going to go ahead and just reconcile these three for our employee time. Let's go ahead and reconcile one of our vendor invoices only. So we'll go ahead and say bill and reconcile. And again, I can see who the vendor is, what the item date is, what our invoice number is. And we'll go ahead and save this one. So next I can go ahead and click my next arrow button, and this will actually take me to the next job. Now this job has actuals as well as some attachments and some comments. So I want to spend a little more time in this particular one. On this screen, we can see that we have an approval comment field and a client comment field. Both of these comments can display within our Advantage Billing Command Center. The client comments are comments that can print on our AR invoices if we would like to see. So I'm going to go ahead and make a comment in here. And that's going to be a comment that we will see on our actual AR invoice. Now, as we look down here, I have the ability to group by function type, function code, or function heading. I'm going to go ahead and leave it as type. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get back into our art direction here. And with my art, within my art direction, we can see that I've got my employee, I've got my item date. This is the timesheet date. Plus, I have my comments that my employee actually keyed in. So you can see their timesheet comments here. You can see what their quantity, what their hours, what their approval amounts are. I'm going to go ahead and indicate that there are some approvals that I want to do, but I can also indicate that I want to adjust this one. Maybe I want to only approve $100, and we will say mark down 50%. And then I can go ahead and say that I want to transfer this entire amount. And if you know the job number, the actual approver, if they know what job number they want to transfer to, that would actually be a great way to let the biller know what job to transfer. All right, let's go ahead and leave those as is. We're going to go ahead and save that. And then let's jump on down to our mobile truck over here. And again, we'll go ahead and say that we want to bill and reconcile that full entire amount. And then my vendor function. Now within my vendor function, again, I can see my actual vendor name, my item date, my invoice number. And when I hover over my invoice number, you'll see there's a line that displays in here. And this is letting me know that I have an attachment. I can click on that attachment, and then I can view it on screen. So I can agree that, yes, I'm okay with going ahead and billing this amount to my client. So I'll go ahead and say yes, and then we'll bill it. And then I can even add a comment on this line. All right. So then we've got those comments in there. Now we can go ahead and save our approval and move on to our next job. My next job is a job that I actually just want to place on bill hold. So I'm going to let my biller know that I don't want to bill this one right now. So I simply click on bill hold as yes, and then I can indicate and then just let them know. All right, so now that we are complete, we're going to go ahead and click on our save icon. And now you see that all of them are marked as approved. We'll go ahead and close on out of here. And let's refresh the screen. So now we can see that their approval. I can click on my approved. So this batch is now approved. And I can alert my biller. I'm going to go ahead and notify my batch creator that it's ready. And I can click on send. So now my biller, my sysadmin user that I was logged in as, has just received an email as well as an alert within WebVantage that their batch has been approved. And we can see that right here. So now let's go ahead and let's log on into Advantage. And simply going into your billing command center, we can go up to where it says billing approval batch. Go ahead and click on our drop down and pick that we want this ABC billing for April that we just created and is approved. It automatically knows that I wanted all eligible jobs for that time period. It automatically fills in those cutoff dates from the WebVantage billing approval. Plus it also said it's keeping that I wanted all jobs. Let's go ahead and click on save and jump on into our production review. Within our production review, we can see that we've got a couple little check marks in here. This is for our advanced bill request. So remember when we marked that job as saying we wanted to do an advance bill on it, and this guy is marked as our bill hold request. We can also see our comments that our approver had put in. So here's our message that we said based upon our approval, and this is the comment that will print on our AR invoice. And this is the one just letting us know that we want to temporarily hold this because they want to place it until next month. I can, if I had multiple, I can either click on the funnel icon and filter down to just the yeses, and you can do that in any of these columns. I'm going to go ahead and say select all just so you guys can see that it's not going to place everything on hold if I wanted to do this. But I can go ahead and click on select all. We'll jump on up to our bill hold, click in my drop down and say that I want temporary and only accept the bill hold request. And now the one job that was marked as a bill hold is now going to have this temporary status. We go ahead and save it, and you'll notice that it is now on a temporary bill hold. Let's go ahead and jump on into our job details. Let me make our screen a little bit larger. So now we see that we've got this first job, job number 290. It has an approved amount of $600, but we don't have any unbilled amounts. So we're getting this message here that says our amount to bill does not match our approved amount. And we know that because we don't have anything technically unbilled, but we want to bill it based upon our estimate. And we can see that we know that this job was our advanced bill hold request. So we can go ahead and jump on into our advanced billing tab. Go up to the top, we can tell it that we want to create based upon the approved functions, and watch how simple this is. Everything is in there. There's our $600, our $174, and so on. Let's go ahead and save that. Now our job 291 is our interim reconciliation where we said to reconcile some of the charges. So we'll come back to that guy in just a minute. Here's our job 292. Now this one has some time that we're indicating that we want to transfer, we want to reconcile. So here, this one is telling us to mark down. And we're able to see based upon the approval comment that they want to mark it down 50%. Plus we can see our instructions. This one is to reconcile, this one is to adjust, and this one is to transfer. Let me make our screen a little bit larger and we can see, let's transfer this charge to job 289. So I'm going to go ahead and start with this markdown 50%. Come on up to the top and say to approved amount for item. And it automatically put that 50% in there, $100. We can go ahead and transfer this guy. Or actually, we got to save it first and then we can transfer it. All right, so now we can go ahead and transfer this job or this charge to job 289. And we'll go ahead and transfer all 5 hours. Just like that, we did exactly what our billing had wanted there. All right, so now let's go ahead. Let's go back to our vendor. Within our vendor maintenance here, or within our vendor function, here is that FedEx invoice that we saw. We can see that it does have a document. Here are our approval instructions saying it's for our shipping charge. We can go to the tab that is called Documents. Within the documents, I can open up that same document that I saw over in WebVantage. Pretty awesome. And this is the job that we have placed on bill hold. And we can see that it's on hold. So let's go ahead and close on out of here. And let's go and reconcile this particular job that we have indicated we want to do an interim reconciliation on. I'm going to go up to Reconcile, click in my None drop down here and pick Interim Reconcile Approved. And my approver already went in and said which ones to reconcile. I agree with them. So I'm going to go ahead and say, yeah, let's do that. We mark our selected. We save it just like that. Now let's go ahead and bill these guys. So we'll go up to our billing selection, go ahead and verify your invoice date and your posting period. We'll go ahead and save it. Let's go ahead and process, and you just verify your dates. You can normally do a draft. I'm just going to go ahead and do straight to assign. Once we assign these invoices, we'll go ahead and take a quick little peek at these invoices. We'll go into print. Let's go ahead and do a print preview. All right, and so here is our job 292, which was our actual job that we did put some comments in. So we can see that this is that approval comment that we added. And then we can also see comments that our employee had keyed in on their timesheet. Let's go ahead and close on out of here. Now, if you all set up the auto email, one of the things that we can do is use this auto email feature. Let me go ahead and pick by client contact and say I only want to do the biller. I don't want to print it. I am going to go ahead and include my PDF attachments here. And I can have my subject, my body. I can carbon copy myself. So now I'm going to go ahead and send out my email to all of my invoices. And then the client will receive a copy of their invoice. And I'm acting as if I'm the client. So here's this invoice along with the attachment. We'll go ahead and open it up. And within here, I've got my cover sheet. I have my actual invoice. Because my invoice format is set up with a backup report, I have the backup detail. And then I also have a copy of that AP document that we saw in WebVantage and in Billing Command Center. All right, let's go ahead and close on out of here. And then we will go back into our billing, our invoice. Actually, I want to take you back into print real quick because one of the other things that we can do is we can send these files to the document manager as well. So if you wanted to send your invoice over to the document manager to be able to view later, and things like the client invoice application and then the actual document manager, that's a great way to go. All right, so let's go ahead and finish and delete this. So now we know that we can do production and media together on an invoice, but I wanted to break them out for the demonstration purposes separately, just to kind of show how they all work. So I am going to now jump on into media. Within media, we're going to go to Media Manager. I'm going to go ahead and do a select all and just take a look at all of my orders. Now, I have actually already created 3 orders, one for radio, one for newspaper, one for internet, to show the billing approval process within the Media Manager. I've already got the accounts payable attached as well, but I just want to show how easy this really is to go ahead and set up these, or to approve our orders. So I'm actually going to approve order 706 down to 704. And all the media person has to do is click on the approve button. So now these are approved and ready to bill. So now as the actual biller, I can jump on into billing, go into my media selection. I can do the same thing, do a select all. I am going to go ahead and change my date ranges because I do want to get a little broader time period here. All right, and then we'll go ahead and leave it as all eligible orders. We'll go into our media review. So now we see some orders in here that have a red dot. Those are ones that are not approved. So I can filter down and say, I only want to see those that are approved. Just like that, those are the 3 orders that my media person said I wanted to approve. I click on select all, do my billing selection, verify my invoice date and my posting period, click on save, process, say okay, assign the invoice. And then within media, we can do the same thing of emailing our clients with their invoices, but I'm going to go ahead and finish and delete this. And we are good to go. That was a lot of information in a very short amount of time. Thank you for watching and have a wonderful day. Thank you.